Qur'an is my life. Qur'an is my life.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا حبيب الله. الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نور الله. Our beloved Nabi, the pride of mankind, the intercessor of sinners, the rahmah to the whole globe, to the whole entire universe, Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alaihi wasallam has indeed said that the person who sends durood and salawat upon me 1,000 times will not depart from this dunya, will not leave this world until or unless he sees his place in Jannah. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. All praises are due to Allah Almighty, the cherisher, the sustainer, the maintainer, the provider of the whole universe. May peace, blessings and salawat and salutations be upon our Aqa sallallahu alayhi wasallam. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless him, may he bless his family members, may he bless all those that has followed him, may he bless all of us right up to the day of resurrection. Ameen thumma ameen. Dear Madani channel viewers, Alhamdulillah thumma Alhamdulillah, once again we have been granted this opportunity, we have been granted this chance by Allah Almighty, by Allah Azza wa Jal, to meet in order to discuss the values of our deen, in order to discuss the values and the excellences of the Qur'an, the excellences of Hadith Mubarakah and the Sunnah Mubarakah of our Nabi sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. How fortunate are we that Allah Azza wa Jal has granted us this opportunity, has granted us this chance, that Alhamdulillah we are meeting, and we are meeting only for the pleasure of Allah Azza wa Jal. We are meeting only for the sake of discussing and learning a few adequates, some few excellences of the Qur'an, some few excellences of Hadith Mubarak and Sunnah Mubarakah of our Aqa sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And remember, every little second, every little moment we are going to spend together, insha'Allah, for the pleasure of Allah, all these learning session would definitely be counted as ibadah. Allahu Akbar Kabira. It will definitely be counted as ibadah. May Allah Azza wa Jal accept this from us, and may Allah Azza wa Jal grant me the ability to say only that which is correct and that which is the truth. Ameen thumma ameen. Alhamdulillah, we all know that we are still busy with our silsila, as we normally mention it at every beginning of every episode, that the silsila in which we are embarking in is the excellences and the virtues of the Holy Quran. And we have, Alhamdulillah, gone through many episodes as far as our silsila is concerned. And today, Idhnillah, with the power of Allah Almighty, we would insha'Allah, thumma insha'Allah Azza wa Jal, look at something very important as far as the Qur'an is concerned, as far as learning and teaching the Qur'an is concerned, as far as governing our whole entire lives with the Qur'an is concerned. And this silsila, insha'Allah Azza wa Jal, we would be focusing our attentions, we would be, insha'Allah Azza wa Jal, looking at the value and the importance and the maqam and status of a Hafiz Qur'an. The maqam and status of a person that has dedicated this book of Allah Azza wa Jal in memory. The maqam and status of a person who has not only dedicated this holy book, holy ultimate revelation of Allah in memory, but who also practices and acts on what the Qur'an says, who also holds very, very firm and acts according to the Sunnah, acts according to the verses of the Qur'an, acting upon this beautiful ultimate revelation of Allah Azza wa Jal. May Allah Azza wa Jal make every single one of us the true followers of this book, his ultimate revelation. Ameen, thumma ameen. Dear Madani channel viewers, today, because of being so deep in love with this world, because of focusing so much into the values and the materialistic things of this world, because of being deeply in love with this dunya and its surroundings, we have indeed given less importance to some of our dini activities, which can be the source of our success in this dunya as well as the akhirat. This dunya has made us understand, has literally forced us to understand that we need to study very, very hard. We need to dedicate big books into memory. We need to go all out in order to meet all that which is required in order to gain this worldly success, in order to gain this worldly prosperity. And this is why at varsity levels, we would memorize big books. At high school levels, we would dedicate big books into memory. And the reason being, we want to pass, we want to become, or we want to get maximum results as far as our tests is concerned, as far as our worldly, and only based on worldly tests, we want to gain success, we want to prosper in this world. We will know so many things in memory, of which after the examination, only very few little of us would remember what we have memorized, because the ultimate goal was only to achieve good results in that particular test. So this world has actually made us blind. This world has actually made us believe that the only true success lies in acquiring the worldly knowledge. This world has made us believe that prosperity means that we should get big degrees. Prosperity means that we should gain excellent results in the examinations that are temporarily, in other words, in the examinations that are only for this dunya. And obviously, with all due respect to every type of beneficial knowledge and education which is found in this world, may Allah Azza wa Jal grant us the ability to gain every beneficial education that can benefit us not only in this world, but that which can also benefit us in our graves and can be able to benefit us in the akhirat. Ameen thumma ameen. Sallu ala al-habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. If we have to look at the hadith mubarakah of our Aqa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, whereby our Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam discusses the values and the excellences of a person who acquires this ilmi deen, and who especially becomes a Hafiz Qur'an, who dedicate this holy Qur'an in memory. We would be surprised, my dear respected Madani channel viewers. A hadith mubarakah of our Aqa sallallahu alayhi wasallam mentioned in Ibn Majah. Our Aqa sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, the beloved Rasul of Allah Azza wa Jal, is reported to have indeed said that from amongst the people, from amongst the human beings, there are such people that are known as the people of Allah Azza wa Jal. And when the companions of our Aqa sallallahu alayhi wasallam heard this, they say, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, can you please tell us, who are these people that are considered as the people of Allah? Who are these people that are considered as the Ahlullah, O Prophet of Allah? Would you kindly inform us, who are these people? And our Aqa sallallahu alayhi wasallam says that those are the people that have dedicated the whole Qur'an in their memory. These are the people who are regarded and considered as the Ahlullah, as the people of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allahu Akbar Kabira. So this is the maqam and status of a person who dedicates the Holy Qur'an into memory. So look at how valuable are the Hufaz in the court of Allah Azza wa Jal, to the degree that Allah Azza wa Jal considers them as His people. Look at the value that these people have in the sight of Allah Azza wa Jal. My dear respected Madani channel viewers, the ball is on our hand. Let us, inshallah, try to build the minds of our children. Let us try to build the minds of our brothers and sisters to learn and dedicate this Qur'an into memory. Because wallahi thumma wallahi, if they are going to dedicate this book of Allah Azza wa Jal into memory, what would be the results? The results would be as if we have invested in our akhirat. Because for every time this person would recite the Qur'an, every time this person would teach the Qur'an, we would be the recipients of the sawab, the recipients of the ajr, the recipients of the rewards from Allah Azza wa Jal. Even after we have left this particular world, even after we have, demised and we have left and we are no longer in this world, but the rains of blessings, then the rains of sawab would continue to shower upon us up to the day of Qiyamah. May Allah Azza wa Jal really inculcate into our hearts that wish and the desire of wanting to become a person who dedicates this beautiful book of Allah Azza wa Jal into memory. A very important point we need to understand is that people would have the desire of becoming Huffaz. People would have the wish of becoming the Huffaz. Alhamdulillah. But ultimately, this lies in the hands of Allah Azza wa Jal. Very important point that we need to understand, and that is, people may have the desire of dedicating the whole Qur'an into memory. People may have the desire of wanting to become Huffaz, wanting to become from amongst those who dedicate this beautiful book, the book of Allah Azza wa Jal, into memory. It comes in a hadith mubarakah recorded by Sayyidina Uqba radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, that our Aqa sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said that the Huffaz Ikram, those people who dedicate the Qur'an into memory, are the friends of Allah Azza wa Jal. Those people who dedicate the Qur'an into memory are the friends of Allah Almighty. So therefore, any person that has dedicated the Qur'an into memory, he was chosen indeed by Allah Azza wa Jal to dedicate this beautiful book of Allah Azza wa Jal into memory. Therefore, any person that has dedicated the book of Allah Azza wa Jal into memory, practices upon every ayat of the Qur'an, this person has been selected by Allah Almighty. So you can imagine, if you disrespect a person that has been selected by Allah Azza wa Jal, if you begin to develop hatred to a person or upon a person that has been chosen by Allah Azza wa Jal to dedicate His book into memory, what damage are you doing to yourself? Dear Madani channel viewers, may Allah Azza wa Jal grant us to have respect and show dignity to every Hafiz Qur'an that has dedicated the Qur'an into memory. And may Allah Azza wa Jal grant them also the ability to follow and to put every ayat of the Qur'an into practice. The ibadah and the worship of Allah Azza wa Jal is of different types. You know, ibadah does not only mean that we should, be in salah, we should pray our 5 times daily salah. Yes, of course, this is from amongst the highest levels of worship. This is from amongst the highest level of worship and ibadah. But besides this, there are other acts of worship that comes below the ibadah of Allah Azza wa Jal, which is regarded as salah and so forth. So ibadah on its own has many categories. And in this beautiful hadith mubarakah of our Aqa sallallahu alaihi wasallam, our Aqa sallallahu alaihi wasallam brings us yet to other things that are regarded as the ibadah and the worship. And our Aqa sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that an-nadhru ila al-Qur'an ibadah. To look at the Qur'an is ibadah, is worship. Allahu Akbar kabira. Just to look at the Qur'an, to look at the Qur'an, that book that has been revealed by Allah Azza wa Jal, is indeed ibadah. So our Aqa sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that to look at the Qur'an is ibadah. And then, my dear respected Madani channel viewers, let us take this little bit further. If a person now, instead of looking at the Qur'an, he makes wudu and he touches the Qur'an, Allahu Akbar. Now, he has not only looked at the Qur'an, he has now touched the Holy Qur'an, Allahu Akbar kabira. Now he touches the Qur'an. What would be the amount of sawab and the amount of, ajr and rewards if he is going to look at the Qur'an, touch the Holy Qur'an, and then recite this beautiful book, the book of Allah Azza wa Jal, which is the Holy Qur'an. So, an-nadhru ila al-Qur'an ibadah, aw kama qala alayhi salatu wassalam, that to look at the Qur'an is indeed the ibadah. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant us the ability to look at the Qur'an at least every day in our lives. And may He grant us the ability not only to look at the Qur'an, but touch the Qur'an. May He grant us the ability also to read the whole Qur'an at least once or every time, if possible, in our whole entire life. We would, inshallah Azza wa Jal, be regarded as from amongst those people who will be called on the day of Qiyamah, and who would be able to enjoy the benefits that Allah Azza wa Jal has kept for us in the Akhirah. And another thing which has been regarded as ibadah by our Aqa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, inshallah Azza wa Jal, I would move a little bit faster. To look at the Kaaba, it is also regarded as the worship. And to look at the parents, to look at your parents, this has also been regarded as the worship. And which, the topic of parents is a different topic on its own. Allahu Akbar kabira. And then to look at the chahra and the face of an alim, this has also been regarded as the worship by our Aqa sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Our Aqa sallallahu alayhi wasallam says that an-nadhru ila al-alimi ibadah. That to look at an alim, is indeed ibadah. Look at the person who practices upon the Qur'an, who practices upon the Holy Qur'an, whose every footstep is the Qur'an. To look at the person who has dedicated the Holy Qur'an into memory, this is indeed the worship. This is indeed in reality showing the respect to Allah Azza wa Jal. And one more hadith mubarakah, of which every single one of us would probably by now be able to remember and maybe dedicated it into memory as well, of which is sometimes, if not every time, the main reason why we want to sacrifice our children in order for them to go and study and become Hufaz-e-Ikram. The reason why we want to sacrifice them in order to dedicate this book of Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is actually because of the Hadith Mubarakah, whereby our Aqa sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam says that a Hafiz-e-Qur'an, a person that has dedicated the Qur'an into memory on the day of Qiyamah, this Hafiz-e-Qur'an would be given the chance and the ability to select 10 people from his family, those people whom the fire of Jahannam was wajib upon them. This Hafiz al-Quran would be granted the ability to save them from the punishment of the Akhirat, to save them from the punishment of Allah Azza wa Jal. Look at the maqam and status of the parents. Look at the maqam and status of these two parents that has made the mind of this child to go and become a Hafiz al-Quran. That not only would their sacrifice result in them continuing to gain the benefits of Allah on the Akhirat, on the day of Qiyamah, but their sacrifice of their child would result in the benefits of 10 family members upon whom the fire of Jahannam was obligatory, to take them from the punishment of Allah Azza wa Jal, and also to begin to enjoy the benefits and the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allahs, if only our minds can be made. Alas, if only our mentality can shift towards the Quran. Only if our mentality can only be Quran, Quran, Quran. And inshallah, thumma inshallah, if Allah wills, before we leave this world, our amal and deeds would be such that would be pleasing Allah Azza wa Jal. And on the day of Qiyamah, imagine if we are awakened and then what comes from our mouths is the Quran, is the praises of Allah Azza wa Jal. What maqam and status would such a person gain in the Akhirat? Insha'Allah, thumma insha'Allah. We all make solid intentions that may Allah Azza wa Jal grant us the ability to learn the Quran. May Allah Azza wa Jal grant us the ability to dedicate this Quran into memory. There are many people that have become Hufaz-e-Ikram. There are many people that have dedicated this book of Allah Azza wa Jal into memory. Despite their old age, it is never ever late to learn. More especially when it comes to ilmi deen. More especially when it comes to the Quran, the book of Allah Azza wa Jal. Insha'Allah, let us insha'Allah have this, enthusiasm within ourselves to study. Let us have this desire of learning the Quran, and we would become from amongst those whom our Aqa sallallahu alaihi wasallam describes in his Hadith Mubarakah to be the chosen servants of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that would be the greatest achievement that we would have on the day of Qiyamah. Jazakallahu khaira. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Qur'an is my life.